Well, I belong to an agricultural family. My father was with the influence of the Green Revolution. He started chemical farming in 70s. Was a very successful farmer. He reached, I mean, he was growing, the main crop for him was growing sugarcane. He grew about 2,000 tons. And again, in after 10, 15 years, it came down to 350 tons. Actually, I passed out my chemical engineering, and my father told, you don't come into agriculture. This is normally we hear even the present day farmers telling their children. This is very unfortunate. But somehow I was attracted since I was brought up in my village, and since I had an affinity to the nature, it made me to look back into agriculture. And first thing, it is I started the organic farming. I met a guru. Normally, meeting a guru is something a great thing, but I have two gurus in my life. One who taught me organic farming, and another who introduced me Homa therapy with organic farming. So with organics, the mantra which my first guru gave me, you don't buy anything, you don't sell your raw material, you add value to it, and you don't sell to a middleman. That was a very simple mantra which he gave me. Even one more thing he added, which I took almost 6 to 7 years to reach that. You go to a bank, not for loans, but to keep deposit. He was a very practical person. Though, of course, it appeared to be because initially, whenever I see when a farmer, when I even interact with so many people, it is as now we are talking about sustainability, spirituality, and everything. But the first thing, the people ask any farmer as such, particularly, what I will get after doing this, how much yield I am going to get, how much more money I'm going to earn this. This is even simple. Even after I think about 25 years back, I also had similar type of thinking. But once I got into organic farming, and then when I understood what is real nature and how exactly you become one with it, it is a pure sheer experience, and it becomes I'm not reading books and all. The whole process itself refined me. It removed all the thoughts which I had. It removed, and it thought now becoming more sustainable, more self-reliance, swavalambi, how to live a swavalambi life, totally self-reliant life, and what is the meaning of self-reliance. So this is what I learned with organic farming, and then I was introduced in '99 with the Homa therapy, because we were using a lot of recipes. My first guru had given me so many recipes, because we used to, for example, any for disease, for any pest management, for nutrition, we had so many recipes were being used. So even I wondered that how all the farmers could do or follow this in this competitive life. But once I got introduced with Homa therapy, it was so simple. He told you heal the atmosphere, and the healed atmosphere will heal you back. You will use suppose a very thing. Another one more very beautiful concept my guru told was, it is ahimsatmak kheti. It is non-violent agriculture or non-violent farming. Now, what exactly it means non-violent? Because when we talk about organic farming, we are preparing so many recipes to control the pest. There again, as per even if whether you kill a pest or whatever you want to control something, either using a chemical or whether you are using a bio preparation, ultimately as per your karma you have killed some insect. But here it is something one which heals the atmosphere. The whole nature comes back into balance, and the predators, whatever, the whole nature takes care of itself. You don't have any interference in that. You are not taking any part in that. And this is the beauty of life of Homa therapy, when you have in your day-to-day life, irrespective of whatever profession you are, and it makes so self-reliant, so peaceful. And now this is what I am going to introduce. And because many people, lot of, again, one more thing, when I started it without just having this experience, but when I went to the universities, they started telling what is the science base for this, how you can call it is scientific. Do you think it is, they thought it is something religious. How can a university can do Homa at his place? So these were the questions which were put to me somewhere in 97, 98. So it was not an easy answer for me, because though I had an experience, I could not evaluate or I could not present it as a science to those people who were interested only in the scientific part of it. So, but now luckily we have a lot of people who have experienced all over the world. It is not only in India. Again, it has most of the people have experienced it in other countries. They have done a lot of research and evaluation about it. But now with that background, we can put this, apart from all being a very simple science, it is a very high tech science which one has to experience and one has to understand it. So now what is called Homa therapy? When you say Homa or Yajna, it's a technical name in Vedic science, where which is the process of removing all the toxic things with the agency of fire. So that is called Homa therapy. Now, what is the disease? Which is the disease which we face? Pollution is the disease. Pollution is pollution of air, soil, water, and pollution of mind. So it removes the pollution. So what does the pollution does? It robs all the nutrients of the environment. And what Homa does, it puts it back into it. And when Homa is performed, we are not going to, it is a beneficial element which is produced. We are not going to create anything, but it is only reshaped. So this all knowledge about how to introduce in our day-to-day life, which is directly connected to environment, human health, and this is called Homa therapy. Next. You go for the next slide. So now, when we call Homa, we know there are a lot of Homas, because as far as the Indians are concerned, they are already used and they have seen a lot of Homas are done. But what the simplest of the simplest Homa which can be performed by any person, very a layman who doesn't know any mantras or who doesn't know any. So the simplest of Homa is the name of that Homa is Agnihotra, which is a very smallest and the basic Homa, healing fire, which is done exactly at sunrise and sunset only. And it is the ancient most Vedic science in the field which can be used in bioenergy, medicine, agriculture, and climatic engineering. Next. Next slide. So now how you perform it is the most simplest Homa which can be performed by any person, irrespective of caste, creed, and religion and sex. So it is here it follows a very simple discipline where anybody can learn it and it can be performed. You require a copper pyramid of a specific size. Then the ingredients which you require is cow dung cakes, dried cow dung cakes. Then you require ghee, that is also called clarified. It should be a butter. It should be free from salt. Then you require unbroken, unpolished rice. It is a whole rice. Then you have two mantras here. And the main thing is this has to be performed. It is not like any puja where you do it or any time. Has to be performed only at sunrise and sunset only. So time is very, very important. Because next. Now, what is Homa organic farming? When you say Agnihotra, so Agnihotra is the simplest Homa which can be done. But when it is applied in medicine and agriculture, it is called Homa therapy. Now, when Homa therapy is applied in agriculture, it is called Homa organic farming. Now, this can be, you may be practiced. There are different ways and types and names of in organic farming. Some people call biological farming, some people call natural farming, irrespective of what name and what practices you follow in organic farming. If you add Homa to that, is nothing else, then it becomes Homa organic farming. It is a very simple, it's a farming technique which is consistent, and it promises sustainable increase in crop yields, minimum input cost, and it makes you totally self-reliant. And the main this practice, it's treating the atmosphere, the soil, plants, pest, and disease. Again, the most beautiful thing about the science is the nutrients taken by the plants. When we talk about the plants, we are all concentrating on the soil and water or the nutrients, but actually the nutrients taken from the soil is only 3 to 4%. Maximum, some people say it is 5%. But the remaining nutrients, which is absorbed by the plants, it is coming from the atmosphere. And this is a technology where you put nutrition to the atmosphere, heal the atmosphere, and thus by you grow your crops. Next. Now here when I say mantras, They are very two simple mantras which can be learned or it can be by any person. So at sunrise, you can have a lot of details about how Agnihotra is done from the websites which are available. Agnihotra, you just Google Agnihotra, you can know how Agnihotra is performed. But the mantras which we recite at sunrise and sunset is at sunrise, it is Suryaya Swaha, Suryaya Idam Namama. And you are supposed to offer rice when you utter the word Swaha. Similarly, it is Prajapate Swaha, Prajapate Idam Namama. So similarly at sunset, it's just a change in the mantras, and this you have to say it only once. Agnaye Swaha, Agnaye Idam Namama, Prajapate Swaha, Prajapate Idam Namama. Now, when if you don't do it at sunrise and sunset, you are not going to get the effect which is desired. You are not going to get anything wrong. I mean, bad things will happen if you do it wrongly or anything. It is only thing is you don't get the exact desired result. So using the right ingredients and doing at the right specific time is very important when you perform Agnihotra Homa. Next. Now, how exactly Agnihotra work? Why you are so particular about sunrise and sunset? It is the flux of energy which is coming from the sun. And the process which you do, which we call, which is Agnihotra, it is nothing but to tap that energy and use it around our surroundings. So the flux of energies which is actually, it draws the energy from the sun. That is why it has to be done exactly at sunrise and sunset. And then again it goes back to after you complete the Agnihotra, the whole and that energy which is being drawn, which again it goes back to the soil, to the water, to the surrounding. It has an effect on every living being, whether it could be an insect, whether it could be a soil microorganism, it could be water, it could be human beings, it could be plants, animals. So all the living beings are energized, and a holistic, energized environment and atmosphere is created around you. It is a healing atmosphere which creates around you, and that's how it works. Next. Now, how the cycle of Homa, when we say it is also called Go Adharit, when we talk about Go Adharit Krishi or cattle-based, cow-based farming, even Homa is totally dependent on cow. Without cow, you cannot do Homa. See, when you do regular practice of Homa, you are assured of nutritional rain. See, it is very, 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 this word is very important. We get rains, but whether they are nutritional, the pollution has created such, we are getting acidic rains. So here it creates a nutritional rain. And when you have abundantly nutritional rain, you are going to have abundant healthy crops. And when you have healthy crops, you have healthy, happy animals and man. And with the animals, you have cow and ghee supply. And again with cow and ghee and the dung, you perform Homa. So it is a cycle. Each one is depending on each other. And that is how, with the Homa cycle, you can create a wonderful healing environment around you, around any living thing. Next. Now, where all in this field this can be used? It is for healing that environment, that is atmosphere, soil, and water resources, which will definitely help the agriculture and the horticulture. And the most important is the human health, because the first thing which happens around when you do Homa therapy, it is going to have effect on your mind, and that is how it is utilized in psychotherapy, drug addiction, which are connected to the mind. And the most important thing, even the ash which we get when we do everyday Agnihotra, you are going to have ash, and that ash has a wonderful, which has no expiry date. That is the most beautiful thing. Again, you do Agnihotra Homa and you have your own ash. You need not see one thing, you get an energy and a energy to yourself. At the same time, you get a thing which can be stored without any expiry date and which can be used as a medicine. Next. Now again, a lot of research happened, because any Western person or an educated person, he always thinks how it is scientific. Without scientific evaluation or proof, no one is going to believe this. So this was done in Colorado University, USA, where when they added ash to the soil, the soluble, I mean, the solubility of the phosphorus was more, and the availability of phosphorus to the plants increased when they have. These are the different things where when the ash was added to different soil. So we normally use it for adding into the soil. Even if we are preparing some vermicompost and all, we add a little bit of ash to that, and the amount of ash is so minimum. You require only a half a kilo of ash for 1 acre of land, which to rejuvenate it. So it is so simple, and so minute traces of ash is used for the purpose. Next. It also, and main thing when we talk about the environment, it is the atmosphere. Now that is the most important, because when we say 80% of the nutrients, more than 90% of the nutrients are coming from the atmosphere. And we have so many products in the world. There are so many companies in the world who are concentrating only which are concentrating to the soil and water. There is not a product in the world to produce the food which can give nutrition to the atmosphere. But this Homa therapy, which is the knowledge which comes from the Vedas, which gives you a knowledge of putting nutrition to the atmosphere, removing the pollution, and it has been analyzed and assessed by various scientists in India itself. These are the readings which I am presenting. These are the which have been done in India. How the pollutants like nitrous oxide and sulfur dioxide reduced from the atmosphere after performing Agnihotra. Similarly, how when the bacterial count from polluted water, it decreased. So it is, and main thing, the ash, which when you analyze the ash, it has got a lot of so many elements and so many elements, like, I mean, so it is just a wonderful tool which you have. The ash is such, it has no expiry date, and which can be, this can be used to reduce pollution from the environment as well from the soil and from the water. Next. Next. So these are how it has. This has been done in Pune, where by Pune University, where how the microbial count was totally. After having Agnihotra, even if you don't add to the ash, even the water is kept in the environment of Agnihotra, the microbial count goes down. This has been proved and it has been found out. Next. This is, the Bhopal case, which is something, thousands of people died because of the methyl isocyanate gas leakage which happened in the night. But there were some few Agnihotra families staying near that mishap which happened, and you will be surprised, they were the people who survived that all such a gas leakage and such a deadly gas. So Agnihotra is such a wonderful powerful antidote to any type of pollution. This is a very proved, but very unfortunately, at that time, no one even thought how these people survived. Now it has, now a lot of people are doing, now rethinking that how these people survived, and now they have found out that Agnihotra is such a wonderful antidote for any type of pollution. This is a living example which happened in a very big scale in Bhopal. Next. These are the things very clearly shows. Before Agnihotra, you can see the microbial count there, and after Agnihotra, how the whole thing gets reduced from water. So it can be used for any treatment of water. It could be any source of water. It could be your well, your bow well, or it could be a lake or whatever. So you go on, if you have, when you produce the ash, you put that ash to the water, all the microbial load, so it can be used for treatment of water, purification of the water. Even at the home, one can just put a pinch of ash to your drinking water, because that is the biggest challenge which we are facing of the pollution which has been spoiling all the potable water. So here, we have got a wonderful, the ash which is by you itself, which can be used for treatment of water. Next. So water purification, these are the readings which we have got, how the pH, how it has an effect on the pH, color, odor, conductivity, total solids, and this is how it, and it also how it is, even very simple. If you have 2 vessels of water, having a fish in that, It's a small aquarium. We have seen that. You add a ash to in one and we don't ash in other. The fish which are there in the water which having an ash, they are more vibrant, more active, more healthy, more happy. Now, so this is how it works on a very, these are the layman thing which we have done. Though we are not scientists, how we do this? The readings which you are seeing, they have been done by some scientific people. But even a layman who who does Agnihotra at home, he can use this and you can understand this, how wonderful and so how simple and how scientific it is. Next. So this is something, this was done, this is called Om Sri Dham, it's a Homa farm in Australia. Now when they decided to have organic farming and Homa organic farming in their place, when they tested, the department told that your soil is very alkaline, high salinity, having a pH of 9.5, and you cannot do agriculture here, you cannot grow food on this. Then what they did was they stayed there, they were doing Agnihotra, and they started using that Agnihotra ash into their bore well in their water resource and applying to the soil. And after some years, they saw that the water became potable, having a pH of 7.2. Now it is such a wonderful farm and with a lot of biodiversity, and they are growing one of the best foods in Australia. Next. This is about my farm when I started. That is why what I have experienced is, apart from the simplicity of the main thing, when I was doing only organic farming, because a lot of people know about organic farming. So even I started with organic farming using different recipes, so many methods and so many things. But after I introduced Homa therapy along with organic farming, my farming has become very, very simple. When we talk about simplicity, this is I'm experiencing daily with my activities of the farming. It is so simple. Literally, my farm does the work. I don't do anything. Because even I have a lot of work in my farm at present, but I'm sitting here in front of you, speaking with you and sharing my experience. This is the time which you get, and this is the wonder of the Homa therapy along with the organic farming. And the best part of it is the food which I produce, which we have produced on that farm. It is so excellent. Now people talk about marketing, people talk about prices, how to earn money and so many things. And you see a lot of people are committing suicide because they cannot sell their produce. They don't get the right value for their produce. The farmers which are facing not only in India, it is all over the world. But here, my case, it is totally different. I produce such a beautiful and such a nutrition, now such a aromatic, such a food which has got flavor. The people are after me. Literally, I cannot supply all. For me, how to produce more and more. It is, but again, I am so content. I just don't think of that. So it is a very content type of living and farming, and and the joy you get of sharing such a wonderful food, giving to the community. And you can see about the vanilla. This actually vanilla is a thing which changed my life from a chemical engineer to organic farmer. Because because of vanilla, I became an organic farmer, because my first guru told, if you want to grow vanilla, it is all used by the European countries, and they will use only if it is grown organically, not with any chemicals. So that is how it made me organic farmer. But when I introduced Homa therapy with vanilla requires a lot of almost 6 months processing to give a very good produce. And I did this processing with Homa therapy. That was the year in 2000 when I introduced Homa therapy, almost 22 years back in my farm. And to surprise, when I had the pure beans, vanilla beans, and I went it for the testing, I had the highest vanillin content in the country, 2.91%. Even the people of the spice board, they had tested, they had got 2.5 and 2.7. But in the first experience itself, I got the highest vanillin content. When I made oil out of it, and when I got it tested in CFTRI Mysore, it had 36% vanilla oil. So the main thing what I have observed is, now I'm preparing jaggery out of my sugarcane. Then I'm having different aromatic rices, of about 7 to 8 varieties of rices, and also growing turmeric. The main thing what I have observed is the active ingredient of those it gets enhanced. You get the right flavor, right aroma, and all the medicinal properties increase in this Homa atmosphere. That has been my practical experience. And when you have all this, there is no problem of selling it. You get what the price you decide. It is you decide the price, and the people are after it. So that is the type of food which you can produce, highly nutrient, highly energetic, and which has got all the flavor, all the taste, all the aroma. Only because with all the chemicals you cannot get all this. But with organic farming, first thing, the organic farming becomes very simple with Homa therapy. At the same time, one more important thing is to do organic farming, you also require some patience, you require some dedication, and that it changes when you have Homa therapy. When you do Agnihotra Homa, that person, the farmer, whoever is practicing it, he himself becomes self-reliant, he becomes peaceful, and he has the capacity to understand nature, and that is how it helps. Yeah, and main thing is, I was growing almost in 20 acres. Again, one more, because the majority of in our area is the sugar cane which is grown. And since last 2005, 2000 to 2005, it was a peak period where it was normally no one used to spray pesticides on sugarcane. It was supposed to be an easiest crop, but the environment has changed so drastically. Even now, the pesticides are being sprayed on the sugarcane. Normally, it was only the cotton where a lot of pesticides were used, but the environment has changed because of this holy aphid attack. The farmers had to spray pesticides on it. But very surprisingly, in my 20 acres farm, hardly it was in 10 guntas. Again, I have to tell you how this is another wonderful experience. Why this also happened in 10 guntas, I had a small portion, which was again removed by the natural predators. By mistake, I had used the wrong ghee, which was not the pure ghee. But when I realized it, and when I changed it to pure ghee, which we use for Agnihotra Homa, the predators naturally came there, controlled all that woolly aphid. The natural predators were identified by the universities. They came there and they were surprised to see naturally Difa and micromoss. They are the natural predators which control the woolly aphid attack. So this is all a wonderful experience which I had, one having a very best quality produce. At the same time, the environment, again, here my interview, here I am just doing 2 Agnihotras, and that's all. And the whole nature is taking care of itself on its own. That is such a wonderful thing a farmer or any individual can experience. Next. This is something unique, because nowhere in the world I can tell you that anyone has done a test of millipede compost. We all the time we are talking about only vermicompost. We only think that earthworm is the only thing creature which is working in the this but in my farm, it is all over my farm. It is a millipede. I don't know from where they came, and the work is so unique that this test was done by one of the chief microbiologists from ICRISAT, Patanchuru. He visited my farm in 2008, and when he saw that it is happening naturally, I don't have any separate. The whole farm works. That is what I'm telling. I don't do myself anything, and this type of millipede is active there, and naturally that compost. He took that compost and he got it tested, and surprisingly, it is such a most useful compost which is being done on my farm naturally. I'm not doing it myself. So this is what the experience of the Homa therapy, where the nature is vibrant, nature is working, and you just observe it, experience it, and just enjoy it. That's all. Next. This is climatic, which is the most important, and now the biggest concern is climatic engineering, because the farmers we have seen in last recent years all over the world, the farmer grows, he does all the hard work, but there is no guarantee till he takes it home. So many problems, and this is what I have seen, that after I started Homa therapy, I have never suffered any harvest loss on my farm. I grow numerous crops, more than 15, 20 varieties of crops. I have never experienced. The nature becomes into balance. It is many times it has rained. It is very difficult to document it. People used to ask me, the universities people ask me, you will please document that. It is very difficult to document. It has rained only on my farm or only on my village. Of course, it happens in nature, but it has happened several times whenever it was necessary. This is wonderful thing which nature, that is called climatic engineering. Homa therapy, though it appears to be so simple, small Homa, but The sky is the limit, how it works. You know a very little, you know, a tip of the iceberg. You go on experiencing, as you go on doing it, each one has his own experience, and ultimately it is the experience which gives you more and more confidence in your life and makes your life very simple. Now here I talked self-reliant life. For human health, that ash is such a wonderful thing. Actually, we are giving it for AIDS and cancer patients. It is given free. Just add to the water and drink it. That's all. You just strain it and drink it. We can prepare an ash for, particularly for psoriasis, which is a very lot of people suffer it. And this ash can be used. This can be used preparing ointment, and it can be applied externally. Even I have seen people having a cut or bruise which is healed with this ointment, which can be prepared by yourself. You can do inhalation if there's a congestion and all, particularly in this environment of this COVID. This inhalation works wonderfully. And even there is a ancient science of healing, a book written by Monica Koch she is a pharmacist from Germany. She has written a book on this. She has prepared more than 40 preparations. Again, it is the ash, and you prepare yourself. You become totally self-reliant. You can control about more than 40 problems, types of problems of health with this Agnihotra and Agnihotra.
We have lost Awardee. Awardee, can you unmute yourself? Awardee, we are not able to hear you.
Hello.
Yes, you are back.
Yeah, just something. I'm working on a mobile. That's the problem. Just it's not coming.
Yes, now it is fine. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Something.
I think we have lost Awardee. Oh, he is there. He is muted again. Awardee, we have lost you. Yeah, now hearing.
Yeah, you can hear me, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
How many slides? More slides do you have?
Maybe another few slides, very few.
Okay, please.
Yeah, you can go for the next slide. So this can be used for your, as for asthmatic TB and purifying the blood. Next. So this is how it has been analyzed. It has got 92 elements which can be used for external application, internal, oral. You can use it, and you can totally come out of the health problems which you face in day-to-day life. So having an Agnihotra at home, and along with that you get the ash, and you have a remedy for all your health problems. Next. So this is again different types of external preparations which you can prepare from ash medicine. Next. So again, it is something wonderful. So simple it is. Very, very simple. You hardly require about few minutes. It is only thing the time here, the principle is here you have to adopt to the timings. You have to at sunrise and sunset only, with very simple for everyone and for all. It can be used in agriculture. It can be used in day-to-day life for human health, and also controlling all the environmental problems which we are facing. So such a simple tool which has come with the knowledge comes from the Vedas. It is so simple, and it is for everyone. It is not for only Indians or anything. It is for everyone. It is now there are more than 75, 80 countries where Agnihotra is done or practiced, and wonderful experiences. People are getting it. So simple, and though it is very high tech, if you go on doing evaluation, it is very high tech. But at the same time, it is very simple. Each one, and with a layman also can use it in his life and make a beautiful life. Thank you for giving me an opportunity for sharing my experiences. and all the best for all you. Thank you very much.